And good morning, everybody. It's TGD Today. It's GolfRap right here at TGD Radio and TV. I'm George Honeycutt, and with me, as always, Hugh Roy III. Good morning, Hugh, baby.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, especially now that Heather's gotten her fix on the Oscar stuff, and that's over with now. Sitting around since 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Did y'all actually watch that?
Oh, dude, you'd think the president was coming to my house.
So it's like a Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, or worse.
Worse?
Could be.
No.
Oh, yeah. Cussing the people about what jewelry they're wearing. Well, she's
really.
Yeah, she was. It was pretty. She's pretty comical.
That's funny.
It
That's
really
funny.
is. It really is.
I'm in kind of like hangover mode with all the golf this week.
There was a ton, absolute ton. The Honda was really good. I just, your old man crush really disappointed me yesterday.
My old man crush. You talking about Sergio?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he really hit some god-awful shots for being the so-called best ball striker on tour.
Well,
it looked horrible the last 4 holes.
I admit it. He admitted it also.
I mean, the shot at 18, how do you aim it that far left? You've got to make eagle to force this thing.
Well,
he back killed somebody in the gallery in the grandstands.
Yeah, he did.
But,
with the trouble on the right, he's coming in from 270.
270 at 248.
He's coming in from 270. It's uphill.
Yeah, making excuses. Typical Jeff. He's making excuses already.
But the point is, he was going to hit the little low cut peeler in there and
got double crossed.
At the last minute, he remembered that hazard was over there on the right. So, Adam Scott, when he makes the quad on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a real good time to fold up the tent, load up the camels, and go off into the desert.
I tell you what, though, it shows the maturity of the young man, and it shows how when you have the best golf swing probably on tour in the game.
Well, I'll argue that, but
it's pretty.
Right now, he's hitting his driver when
he's putting it where he wants it.
Yeah, with him and Rory are the two best current drivers of the golf ball. No doubt about it. When they're on, they're on. Yeah. They're in a different – would you agree?
Yeah.
They're in a different level. Now, Rory had a bad week. I mean, he couldn't get anything going, and I don't know where his putting stroke has disappeared to.
The 4-putt from 6 feet was the darndest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not quite sure if it's –
It looked like Stevie Wonder trying to putt.
I know. We saw him go through this slump 2 years ago with the last engagement. Are we seeing it again?
No. That's no.
I got to throw controversy into this. You know that.
I understand that. I just still think, and I've done it with a couple of people. One of good friends of ours from Barefoot that I teach and whatever. I bent his Nike putter. It had 1.5 degrees of loft. I put 4 degrees on it, and you would think that I hung the moon because the guy goes, man, this putter's totally different.
Yeah.
I just don't think they put enough loft on the putters, and that's why you see him missing. Every putt he missed was right.
Yeah.
Every one of them squirts right because there's not enough and you're putting on Bermuda grass. Of course, grain doesn't affect a ball. When you
No, there is no grain. Yeah. So, I don't know. I saw David Lingmerth. He all of a sudden was tearing things up. Then he just absolutely fell apart. I kept waiting for Rory to kind of kick it in. I thought Ricky goes through the first 2 days and doesn't make a bogey.
Yeah.
I mean, playing as solid as anybody out there. And he looked like the top four. He looked like one of the top four.
And Saturday, it just I watched it late Saturday after I got home from the golf course. And coming down the stretch, it looked like he hit good tee shots. But with the wind blowing the way it was, it would start to draw, and then all of a sudden, he was over that bunker in the rough, and then he hit it in the water. It's like it got away from him.
I mean, Sunday it got to a point, and you sit and look at his final score, and it's not. And it's like he even stated in the post interview, "I didn't have a bad tournament."
Yeah,
it wasn't really that bad. I mean, he finished -3, but you know, at one point he was right up there at the top of the leaderboard. Started the day at -6.
He got himself up into the game and then faded coming down the stretch.
He couldn't hit a green.
I mean, he bogeys 18.
From 125.
I know.
I don't know. He's got new irons. I don't know if that's the issue. But
how do you say that's the issue in the first 2 days? He absolutely
I
didn't miss a
know.
beat.
I'm sitting there trying to come up with excuses. And it's not my job to do that. But, you know, I sat and watched Adam. I watched the quad. And interestingly, they just so happened, they put the image up. Adam Scott on the bear trap was +8 through all the times that he had played it. Not a great record. Lo and behold, he gets up and blows it into the water, goes to the drop area, gets into a conversation with his caddy, who, by the way, I think deserves the loop spot for all the majors this year versus Stevie.
I thought the guy did a great job.
The guy's got a win now. He's got a second place at Riviera. I think the guy's earned his spot.
I think he's gotten in his ear to where I think, Adam's very comfortable with him. I don't think Stevie will get it, to be honest.
I hope not.
I really think he might pull the trigger and say, look, I don't need you. Because, after everything that happened, that guy standing there, like you said, he's in his ear, they're talking, and I think he earned some confidence.
Well, I'm just sitting here doing the numbers for our weekend. Can we say who
you won?
Who won?
Congratulations!
Thank you very much, Professor. I hope you're listening.
Professor's kind of I'll give him. He can go back to Krispy Kreme or
Professor tried to get an early buyout yesterday.
I know that's just old school.
Let's leave the Honda for a minute. I'd like to come back because I've got some parting words. Okay, let's jump over to Thailand and the Lexi Thompson show.
Girl jump. We finally got an American girl that's in the top 5 in the world rankings. She's up to 3.
I kept waiting. Saturday, Lexi has a tendency of she won't play conservative. She'll keep firing at pins, and at some point in time in a 4-round or 3-round, whatever the event is, it comes back and bites her.
Sure.
And she has that little drop, and it just so happens at that moment one of the Koreans or whoever was chasing her. It always happens. They'll go out and shoot 66 and take the lead, and then she's never able to close the door the next day. This thing here, she was kind of still closely hunted after in round 3, but round 4, son, she just went out there and said, okay, round 3, I'm going to put a little 64 on you. Round 4, I'm going to hit 68, and I'm going to win by 6. And, oh, by the way, thanks for coming. Yeah. Make sure you pick up your coat and your hat at the door on your way out. I mean, she just ran away with this thing. Jessica Corder had a good tournament with a 64 on Sunday. So congratulations to her. Amy Yang, another good tournament for her. Pretty consistent, 66, 69, 70, 70. But Lexi shoots 64. Then she has her little burp at 72. And I'm sitting here going, okay, here it is. And then she turns around with another 64 in round 3. And this not on an easy golf course.
No, and look at it this way, though. But if her burp is 72, it's not a bad burp.
No.
So, I mean, it's not 74, 5, or 6. It's 72, doesn't hurt you, and then she went out and followed it up with 64, and now she's right back on plan. The question was, like you said, is she going to play smart enough on Sunday, to maintain this? And she did.
She did. No doubt about it. We jump from Thailand, basically, to Western Australia in Perth, and what became my probably favorite event of the quote-unquote weekend to watch, simply because of the individual gentleman who was in the lead in this thing. It is such a pleasure to watch Louis Oosthuizen swing a golf club.
It's effortless motion with extreme
power.
It's
like watching you. It really is. I get as much enjoyment out of watching Louis as I do watching you play golf.
Well, thank you, but we haven't played golf in a long time.
That's true. I might have forgotten exactly how good or bad it is.
Yeah.
Louis, he was getting chased by these young guns, one of which, Peter Uihlein, of course, U.S. player that plays only on the European Tour. Of course, Peter Uihlein of the family of Acushnet, Titleist as you would know it. And I got asked several questions yesterday, Hugh, out at the Performance Center. Why doesn't Uihlein play in the U.S.? Obviously, if you look at his talent, he could very easily be a Ryder Cup player.
He could do that from Europe.
He could.
It's based off of your world golf rankings.
I understand. But the question was, why doesn't he play over here?
Maybe he enjoys Europe.
There you go. I just simply told him, who knows? It may be, and I'm going to go the controversial side, it may be that Daddy says, okay, if you want these checks coming every week, then you just go ahead and stay over there because we're not going to put 2 and 2 and make it equal 5.
I don't think that's the case. I mean, he does play over here in the majors and in a few world golf events. But, I mean, Peter's a good player. And, you know, look, I went to South Africa for 6 years. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to going down there. It was wintertime here and it was summer there. You look at where the European Tour is playing right now.
I was happy. Oh, yeah. I was happy to see him play well. Congratulations to him. He ends up struggling a little bit in the final day, finishes at 13 under par. Louis Oosthuizen wins the event at 16 under. Alexander Levy shoots a very low. The young man from France, he finishes at 15 under, one shot back of Louis. Jason Shriver is in at 14 under par. Gregory Bourdais is in at 13 under, along with Peter Uihlein. For Louis, again, his 8th European Tour win. This is the 256th European Tour event that he had played in. He's moved to 8th in the 2016 Race for Dubai rankings. He'll probably move inside the top 20, probably 19th, 18th in the World Golf rankings. So, you know, for Louis, I mean, I expect him. He's not dealing with any health issues right now. Wrist seems good. Everything seems good. He hadn't hurt himself out on the farm lately. I mean, along with Adam Scott, is now this an individual that we could see at Augusta that could get a green jacket?
I don't think there's any question. And we've been asking this question for the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played well there. But I don't know. He has an attitude to where when he gets there, you don't know because he walks in there with that attitude of, whatever. Let's just go play golf, see what happens. Da-da-da. And, then he's right there.
Well, that's kind of Charles Schwartzel, too, isn't it? I mean.
Not as much as this one.
Okay.
And I can say this because of Ernie and knowing Ernie as long as I have. The Dutchman in them, that's kind of the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're laid back, but just don't get them mad. When they get mad, it's game over. Then they go nuts. But I mean, he walks out there and the way he swings the club, like I said, it's effortless power, and it just looks so simple and easy. And he hits it 9 miles.
He does. I'm sitting here watching Peter Uihlein, who is 6'12", weighs 170 pounds, got maybe a 19-inch waist. Okay, this kid just pounds it. And then I'm watching Louis, and his balls are ending up in the same spots that Peter Uihlein was. And I'm sitting here going, this little guy is like Mighty Mouse. I mean, he's got effortless power.
But, dude, he's not small.
No, he's not. I mean, when you but you compare him, the stereotypical current golfer, 6'70" and weighs 170, no spine.
Yeah.
To them, he looks like he's 5'8".
Yeah.
When in actuality, he's 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And
got shoulders as wide as this countertop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's built, no doubt about it. He doesn't wear the tight crop shirts and the sleeves to make him look like, oh, here's my guns. You know, look at him. But he's just so much fun to watch. And even he came up short on one of the par fours on the back nine. And just literally he got in some rough. He didn't get all the ball. It came up about 15 yards short right of the green. He had a lot of green to play with. So he had a plethora of shots open to him. And I sat and watched him, and he just kind of walked up to it, and he walked up to the green. He walked back down to the ball, and I'm sitting there going, what kind of shot is it? You know, is he going to take something in there? He pulls out a 9-iron from 15 yards off the green. He hits this little low runner up there. I forgot that he had a ridge to contend with. It hits just short of the ridge. It checks up, goes over the top, flows down there. He's got 1.5 feet for par. And it was like ho-hum, you know. And I'm going, that's good stuff right there.
And I mean, how many people would you watch? These kids nowadays or whatever, they grab sandwiches and try to, you know.
Oh, flop it up there. Why did that release? You know, then they got 15 feet coming back.
And that's why, you know, in the past you've seen me pick him in the Masters and in the British Opens because he's just got so many different shots and imagination to him that, you know.
I love the people right now who are peaking. You know, who are getting in that groove. Now, Louis, of course, will come over here. I needed to do some more research. I really should see where he's signed up for. Is he in the WGC coming up this week at Doral?
I would think so.
I would wonder if he's going to go ahead and go to Augusta or is he going to play in Houston, whatever. So, Adam, it looks like he's there. He could possibly pick up that second green jacket.
I agree. I tell you what, though,
Jordan, the last couple of weeks, has shown some struggle. He'll have good rounds, and then he'll have bad rounds.
Well, look at it this way. I mean, look at what the young man did last year. You know, there is the letdown. There is the, you know.
Oh, God, yeah.
One
of the seasons to be always remembered.
Yeah, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing that a lot of people don't even get to experience. But
Right.
I think you watch what happens at Doral this week, and I'm just telling you, Doral can either really start honing somebody's game for the Masters, or it can absolutely destroy you.
Well, Doral's greens are mini verde. They're several years old now.
And the greens aren't the problem.
Okay.
It's the golf course and the wind.
And when I'm just kind of recapping for our viewers and listeners, they've added length this year. They made some bunker changes. They made a couple of water hazards come more into play. They rerouted a couple of the water hazards. Of course, everybody's wondering, is the Donald going to be there? So, but the big thing is, we're seeing Ricky now have hiccups, okay? Whether it's long-term or short-term, who knows? We'll see.
Short-term.
Rory, for whatever reason, he's not able to go out and put 4 solid rounds together.
He looks distracted on the golf course.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of all the stuff about his workout and all the press and the people bugging him. He's got to figure that out and straighten it out quickly.
Okay. Bubba just wins in Riviera. Of course, we know that he could win 4 Master Jackets.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, that's his place. That's his shot shape. He likes getting creative. Jordan, he for whatever reason, whether it's tired, whether it's he just needs to get honed back in, he needs to go back to playing the game as a kid, which got him through last year. He just had fun doing it. We haven't really seen a resurgence of Jason Day.
No, we haven't. You're correct. I forgot all about him too. That's how non-existent
he's been.
Yeah.
You and I both agreed at the end of the physical year that Justin Rose was going to be a key factor this year. This would probably be his year.
And he hasn't played poorly.
No.
Just nothing
but
spectacular.
He's not been up there at the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we see Adam, who everybody said, oh, heck, he's left the anchored putting scheme.
Trust me, there was nothing wrong with the putting stroke he was using. It was. I thought he rolled the ball very well.
Well, let's look at it this way, just numbers-wise. Last year with the long putter, he was in the 170s as far as ranking and putting-wise. Right now, he's hovering in the high 50s.
No, I mean, you look at the putts he hit coming down the stretch yesterday. 17, I thought he made it.
Yeah.
Hit a great putt. It just didn't break.
That's right.
And Faraday called it. He said, there's not a lot in there. And he got it out about a ball and a half, and it broke about a half a ball. Caught edge of the lip, lipped out. But, I mean.
But you don't win that event this week and not putt well.
Oh, gosh, no.
Okay.
Because the way that wind blows, and yeah.
So here we are at him now. Confident stroke with the putter. He's now a factor at Augusta.
No question about it.
Louis Oosthuizen. No injuries, no real wrist problems. He's back, full form. Things seem to be going well. Great swing. It's grooved, no doubt about it. He's a factor. So where we thought these four, Bubba, Jordan, we look at some immediate past winners. I'm glad to see, like with the Adam Scotts of the world, these other characters coming in. A comment was made by one of the commentators yesterday on the NBC coverage, and I thought it was apropos and absolutely perfect for the time, and it was at the end of the tournament, and it was related to the number of spectators that were up around 18 there yesterday at the Honda. Everybody thought that with no Tiger, that there would be a significant decline in spectators, attendance, viewership.
And they were wrong.
These young guns, these young players are keeping this game, entertainment-wise, at the highest level. And whether Phil was in the hunt or whatever, yeah, he was there. He was still there on Sunday. So good for Phil. And that shot he made on 15, it brought the crowd to its feet, jumping up and down, screaming. But again, Phil wasn't a factor.
No.
And for them to come down the stretch and watch the Sergios, who's an old-timer now.
Yeah.
He's an old-timer. So is Adam. And it's hard to say that in their mid-30s they're old-timers. But they are.
Yeah.
So, it's good to see. I'm glad that we're not going into Augusta with just Bubba's on our mind.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree with you. And
or Rory's on our mind. Or Jordan's on our mind.
I think Augusta is literally anyone's ball game to win. I honestly do. I mean, they've made the course longer, yes. The greens are the same. I just think that it's a matter of who.
Jeff, do we have just a moment? Thank you. One other thing that came out over the weekend was the story. Golf Digest evidently initially put it out, but that Augusta National is currently working a deal with Augusta Country Club to, again, acquire more property to move 13 tee box back even further. They want to extend. They're not going to mess with 12, the par 3. But they're, again, going to move further into the property line what is now the par 4 that runs behind at Augusta Country Club.
Yes.
They are to acquire, basically, that whole hole, and there's going to be redirection of Augusta Country Club. They want to literally move the tee. I heard yesterday in discussions, move the tee as much as 75 yards.
They do that, they're going to have to start doing some stuff with the trees on the right of that hole.
Sure.
Those trees are going to have to come out
but
where they put bunkering in, because that's just going to create. You're not there. For the average tour player, Jordan Spieth, they're going to have trouble getting it to the corner. Much less,
Folks, remember when Alistair McKenzie designed this and Bobby Jones contracted him to do it? The initial tee box on 13, and make a note of this. You can look at this or whatever. The initial tee box was down at Ray's Creek, literally where the creek cuts on 13 and goes in front of 12 green. The tee box sat just on the edge of that creek.
And what people don't understand is the green at 16 was left of the pond. Not where it sits now. It was the other side.
The other
of that
side.
pond,
Yeah.
where people walk and sit. That's where the green originally was.
That's right.
So there've been some changes to where they've moved that green to where what everybody knows. But to
13,
make that hole 75 yards longer.
Well, that was the number that I heard. Now, it could be 30, it could be 20,
matter.
It could be whatever.
Because they moved it back another 20.
But I can tell you,
years ago.
you know, they tiger-proofed it, or they claimed to, years ago. Well, evidently, the chairman of the board, Mr. Payne, got a little upset at Bubba last year. Because evidently there was some joking, laughing, and in the pre-tournament rounds, practice rounds, where Bubba was honing his 3-wood and his driver to take it up over the trees and fly the corner. And at 2 rounds last year, he was able to come into this par 5 with pitching wedges. And that has led them to start their dialogue to lengthen this up. And now the trees on the left will not be carryable.
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
So that's where we come from.
Because I'll never forget Mark Lai talking about when he
Now, we won't see it this year.
No.
But I guarantee you, if they do acquire this property, 2017 Masters, you'll see a new 13th hole.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like you remember when Mark Lai was leading Augusta. Long time ago, back in the 80s.
Okay?
Right?
All right, I don't remember, but go ahead.
Mark was leading, and he said he got to 13, and he was so jacked up, so pumped up.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I'm going over. He goes, heck, we're trying to hook it and whatever else. He said, didn't work. Back with the old equipment, couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
This new stuff and whatever, these guys hit it.
Well, they interviewed Jack about this at the Honda Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Nicholas actually sat down and addressed it. And he gave a real honest answer. He goes, back when we played, he says, you could carry those trees because they were half the size they are now.
Yeah, they were saplings.
Yeah. And he said, in actuality, the tee box was as much as 10 yards forward than where it is today. They've already moved it 3 times.
Well, they've moved a bunch of tees around there people don't even realize.
Sure.
I mean the 15th tee, just because where the road is,
right?
People haven't realized they've moved that back behind 10 green almost
twice.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be a cakewalk.
And when they do something, it's seamless. I mean, it looks like it's been there for 70 years.
Yeah.
You know. So, but Jack made the comment. Bobby intended and Alistair intended for this to be a par 5. Mm-hmm. They have to do something. Because with the ball, with technology, it is not a par 5 anymore. Last year, it was the easiest played hole at Augusta.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay? Mm-hmm. It has been that way for the last 6 years.
I mean, look at what they did to 7, George.
Yeah.
7 used to be literally, folks, a hybrid or a 3-wood or a 3-iron, 1-iron, whatever, and a wedge or a sand wedge. Now they're hitting driver and 7, 8 irons.
Oh, yeah, you got to step on it.
I mean, they moved it back 150 yards.
Well, look what they did to 1.
Or
just
4.
1 alone.
Or 4.
But we're going to get in all this in our Masters preview, so we're kind of jumping ship here. Jeff, thanks so much for allowing me to go off on. I thought that was a little bit of neat news.
I'm just glad we got him to smile on camera, Jeff.
Well, we talked about Augusta.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I won the
yeah.
I won the
I didn't lose.
Professor.
I don't have to buy.
No, you're in second place, by the way. Congratulations. A strong second. And then last. I'll write that down here. Okay.
I'm just glad George didn't lose because we'd all be sick.
TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Digital Network for thegolfdirector.com. Be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, much more. Need help with your next golfing vacation? Just call Dave. You can give us a call right here at the Golf Director, 844-GO-GOLF-1, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. Just click the TGD Radio and the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. That's THE, folks. I had 3 people ask me yesterday, how else do you spell the? You can find us on over 1 billion devices at iTunes, AudioRam, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Periscope, Catch.me, and Blueberry. I'm George Honeycutt for Hugh Roy III. We want to thank you for joining us. We want to thank Jeff behind the glass. Don't go anywhere, though. There's a lot more golf news and information coming up next. And I win, na, 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 na.